this is spoiler territory. Don't tell anybody, but...
No one listens, Miner. It's fine. Let's think there's going to be some patching involved, I think.
Oh, no. Shush.
Are we being that cryptic? Are we that in the know?
No. Maybe we know something. Hello and welcome to The Lab, a Minecraft podcast where I explore, experiment, and theorize about all things Minecraft. I am Miner Thoughts, and with me, of course, is the man with bark, the woodman, the trope.
Hello, Mr. Miner Thoughts. How are we today?
It's been a week. We're at the end of the week. I'm ready to talk Minecraft.
Yes, it's been a week here as well, and let's Minecraft. Let's get our mind off of the week that was and the Minecraft that will be over the weekend.
Of course, we're officially back in the snapshot season, and we've been getting things trickling in here and there, and we finally got the reveal of what the key is used for in the trial chambers.
Yes, and came as a little bit of a shock, I think, to most people. And I think a lot of people had it in their mind that it was going to unlock something big and glorious. And in the end, it turned out basically to be a glorified chest.
Yes. And when I first saw this, my first thought is how we have a mod for that already. The looter mod basically does the same thing. Something that we use on Realms, and I really like because it gives, on a multiplayer server, it gives all the players the opportunity to get loot from the same chest, from the same area. So that was my first thought. Is like, this is the looter mod in vanilla.
So for some context first, in case you are listening and you haven't really been following up with the snapshots and the updates. So part of the trial chambers, which is coming in 1.21, is a new block called the Vault. And as Miner alluded to, you get the key, you unlock the vault, and you get the loot from within. What makes it unique is that it is unique to each player. So I can open it, and Miner can open it, and we'll both get access to our own individual loot, or the loot from it. And we can only do it once. And that was my first thought as well, Miner, was it is the looter mod. Now, again, for context, if you do not know what the looter mod is, what the looter mod does is, and it's spelled LOOTR, is it makes all of the naturally spawning loot chests and whatnot in the game individual and unique for each individual player. Now, why that's important is, as again Miner has alluded to, we put it onto interrealms because we had not a problem, but we had a thing that we needed to try and find a solution to, is some players had a lot more time on their hands than some of the others to play the game. And as people were playing the game, a new update would come out and some people would rush the loot. And that would leave some of the others like myself and Jurassics and yourself, who have full-time jobs and absolute struggle to get on during the week, no time to enjoy the loot hunting experience or enjoying, the ancient cities when they were first launched. Within our small world initially, they were all looted within a week or two, right. So we sort of missed out on that experience. So we found the looter mod, and it's good because what that allows is, on a multiplayer server, just because someone's gone through an ancient city once, it doesn't matter. I can come through the next time and loot it as well because the chests are still available for me. That's the beauty of the looter mod. So when I saw they revealed this as well, my first thought as well was, well, yeah, that's looter. That's a great idea. But then my mind moved on to that. The hope that I had was, okay, can we get this into the other structures in the game? Then the question becomes, okay, but if you need the key, then you need to get into the trial chamber to get the key to loot all the naturally spawning things around the world. What I'm hoping was, if they went down that road, is it wasn't going to hurt early game looting, because some people advance that way through the early games, with your shipwrecks and your pyramids and stuff like that. So they did indicate that they would look at expanding this in the future to other structures, not just the trial chambers. But I think it's going to have to come with some balance.
I think, though, that would be a smart thing, especially with end cities and ancient cities, especially because I don't know how you feel. I feel those are like maybe end game or mid game type things. I wouldn't see putting them in like dungeons and or like pyramids or the jungle temples, but maybe something that where you've got a more sprawling area. And you're right. Going back to the reason why we did it on Interrealms, it also and you being an admin, it also made the world size larger because all the interior things got looted first, and then since the people didn't get a chance, they had to go out further and further and further, and you get all these branches going everywhere and making the pile size bigger and bigger and bigger. But with the looter mod, try to keep it to a smaller area. Everybody has a chance to go and get the loot within this smaller area, and they don't have to go as far.
Yeah, it did definitely help with file size as well, particularly with those ancient cities, because we were getting all sorts of branches off and new generated areas in the world. Because we weren't in the current world playing with the world border. You look at the map generation now, and there's like lines everywhere that all head off to ancient cities. You will still eventually get to that stage, because obviously at some stage everyone would have done all of the chests in the area. But it helps. It makes it longer before it has to go that far. I like the way they're thinking on it. But if they're going to introduce it to the ancient cities and they're going to introduce it to NCs, which I agree are probably the two that it probably should be in, are we going to still have to need the key from the trial chambers to get it? Now, on one hand, I like it because it actually gives a purpose to revisit the trial chambers, which is one thing I've been critical of in the past, is there's no reason to go back to places. And that would give going back to a trial chamber or setting up a farm in a trial chamber for keys a purpose. So I like that. But on the other hand, it comes back to what we discussed last week, which was the progression of the game. Is it logical that if I'm playing the game and I come across an ancient city before I come across a trial chamber, how do I unlock the chests that I'm finding? How do I get the loot out of this thing? What is going to be telling me logically, I need to go find a trial chamber to be able to loot these things? What instinctively tells you? And from the world generation that we've been playing with now, maybe spoiler territory, and I'm starting to turn into minor thoughts of giving spoilers away, but we're looking at a world reset for Interrealms coming up soon. So as part of that is, as one of the admins, is one of my jobs that came in was to find the seed and play with and test potential features that we're going to use. And one of the features that we were testing and playing around with was a certain part of 1.21, and by accident, I actually had trial chambers spawning into the world. So I was like, oh, this is my first experience. So while I had the opportunity, I went and looked at them. It's not intuitive to find them because they're buried underground structures with nothing on the surface saying, here I am. So again, are we developing a progression problem where who knows what these things are unless you find them? And then if they introduce those vault type blocks to other structures, what is going to tell you, hey, I need to do this step first before I can raid that? So on the one hand, I like the idea of having to go back to the trial chambers to get the key because it gives a purpose to go back so you can loot places. But what's going to tell me or / a new player that is the order in which you need to do things?
I've got so many thoughts going through my head now about these things. And you're right. Going back to the progression, shout out to Rebel JC again. I think he had brought it up about, he had asked his community about how you should be able to find these structures. What's going to be the indicator? With the strongholds, you can find them using the Eyes of Ender, but again, that's just another one of those things that unless you know or read or someone's told you, you're not going to know what to do. There should be some kind of indicator or a way to know how to locate these things, a map or something. Lush caves, there's an azalea tree on top. So there's an azalea or a lush cave underneath. So yeah, you're right. Progression is, and knowing what to do is going to be, because you could be, unless you didn't know, and there wasn't a way, you could mine forever and not really ever find one.
Yeah, and I guess the ancient cities sort of have that problem as well is how do you know where they are? We know from experience and playing now, usually if you see a giant mountain, there's probably an ancient city under it, but it's no guarantee. They're not all under giant mountains. You could be very unlucky and not ever find these things if you're mining away and hoping for the best. But sort of swinging it back through to the vault, though, the other thing that I'm glad they clarified, but I'm seeking more information on, is the loot that's going to come out of it. Now, Cub fan said a really important thing, and I 100% agree with him. And I'm paraphrasing because I forgot to bring up the quote for this, so I apologize, Cub, if you ever listen to this, but I'm sure I'll capture the essence perfectly. What he said is let's hope we get more than just the standard, because we've already got so many ways to get diamond gear, mending books, blah, 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 blah. What's the incentive? I would like to see some unique loot. We're already getting unique loot coming through from the breeze and the breeze drop, which I don't know whether we're discussing that today, but maybe we will touch on it briefly. Let's get something else unique that you can only get from these places besides the key to unlock the vault. Because if it is just another way just to get your hands on books or diamond gear or whatever, you got to question again, is there a point? I think that's one of the criticisms that I have of the ancient city is, apart from Swift Sneak, what's the point of going down there? Like, I don't know of anybody that goes and uses the new compass that they introduced. I don't know anyone that uses that at all. And, that's probably more for someone like a new player. But a new player is not going to get down there and get to an ancient city, are they? A, they don't know about it, and B, it's sort of counterproductive having it there. But I don't know anyone that uses it. The echo shards have no use, at least not at the moment, So what's the point of going to an ancient city after you've got Swift Sneak?
Right. And the record fragments, once you've got the record once, that's it. You can find all the fragments out of every city, but it's not going to do you any good.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're going to open up a record shop. But beyond that, what's the point? And that's what I'm hoping the trial chambers can avoid. I've been openly critical of the development of Minecraft from that perspective in recent times, is once you've done it once, what's the point of going back? And I'm hoping this one, between the loot and the need for keys, hopefully we're getting to that point where they're finding it. But if it's just going to throw out just bog standard loot, again, it's like, okay, I've had the experience. Maybe I'm bored on a Saturday night and I just want to go and have some fun. I go grab a couple of Interalmas and we go play in the trial chambers. There's nothing forcing me to want to go back in there at this point. Like, that's what I'm hoping that they avoid. Like the ancient cities, I've done it once. I've got Swift Sneak. I never need to see the place again.
Well, kind of going off a slight tangent, but kind of circling back to the vault chamber, or the vault, the vault block in, or putting it in other structures. It was mentioned on X that it may have been Waddles, it may have been someone else, said it would be smart to put it, instead of using a item frame for Elytra, that you get the Elytra from a vault block. And that would guarantee that, you'd have more access to Elytras. Again, like with the ancient cities, you wouldn't have to raid every single ship and go further and further out. You could tell you people on the server, hey, there's one here at these coordinates. There's a ship here. Go get your Elytra, or something to that effect. I could see why they're doing it. They're trying to do it for, there's a lot more multiplayer things in this one with the combat and with these vaults and whatnot. But I have seen complaints from single player people that all they ever do is single player. Like, how does this vault benefit me?
Look, that's a fair call. But if it was a chest that you looted, you're only looting it once anyway, aren't you?
Yeah.
It doesn't need to benefit a single player, because the single player is getting the same benefit as every other single person in the game.
I think they're just hoping that like you said, Cuppan said, they're just hoping the loot is worth it. Getting the key, going to the trial chamber.
Yeah,
it's not.
And they were very clear in coming out and saying that it was just a plate. The loot table that you see in the video is just a placeholder. So they were very clear on that. I'm hopeful now that, they've shown more about the breeze and the wind attack or whatever it is. You can now get wind in Minecraft. Excuse me, that was last night's curry. Maybe not that wind. Maybe they are looking at bringing more things in. And if it is going more combat-y with this update, because that seems to be one of the main features I can see of this new wind that's coming in, or out. Maybe it will be something that maybe it might be a new combat-related enchantment. Who knows?
Right. I've seen all kinds of speculation. A new weapon, a new kind of weapon. But in a way, that wind charge sort of a weapon. You can damage things, and it does more damage than the breeze itself.
The first thought I had when I saw that was, we're moving into I know we're not exactly talking about a game based in reality here, but the combat, the PvP is sort of becoming, with this thing, more like I don't know, like you can throw magical spells now. PvP was basically jump and try to hit someone before they jump and hit you more. Now, you got a bit of tactic in there that you can use the breeze to push them away, and you can sort of throw something at them. So it's an interesting move, interesting development. It's not something that interests me a great deal because I am not a PvP player. I mean, anyone that's watched me play Minecraft at all will know I am not even remotely a PvP or a PvE, to be honest, player. I'm the sort of guy that looks at a creeper and goes, this is a shield, you can't touch me. You're gone now. Boom. Thank you. Move on to the next. I don't take them on. So it doesn't interest me a great deal, but I think there are other applications for it that we might be able to use in farms and whatever to push mobs into where we need them to be in farms.
And seeing when I first saw the video, I guess I see things differently. My first thought when I saw that video that Mojang put out for the wind charge was, I don't know how many people that listen to this have played Team Fortress 2, but there's a move you can do where you aim your bazooka with the soldier straight down and you can do a boost jump. And that's basically the same thing. You can jump to higher heights and boost up and over buildings or structures or, gaps or whatever using the bazooka. And to me, that wind charge was basically the same thing.
That explains some of the cryptic messages you were putting on Discord. I get it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And me being the person I am, I've already started messing around with it, and it's a lot of fun. I can fly without TNT now.
Really?
Yes. And here's the cool thing about that charge. Okay, this is spoiler territory. Don't tell anybody. But
no one listens, Miner. It's fine.
Quiet. I have successfully flew 100 blocks in the air, and because of the way this wind charge calculates your position, 100 blocks in the air, 0 fall damage. This is in survival.
Let's think there's going to be some patching involved, I think.
Oh, no. Shush. Don't. Mojang, I know you don't listen to this. Well, no. If you do, cool. But no, I hope they don't patch it. I like that. But it's in their patch notes. But there are people that are like hoping, okay, this is perfect the way it is. Don't change a thing. There are people that are excited for the wind with that wind charge. So it's perfect the way it is, Mojang. Change it, say.
With us getting all set up for the new world, I have not had time to play with it at all just yet. So yeah, I'm relying on your knowledge on this one.
Yeah, I'm just toying around with it. And there was a challenge put out there. Crafty Masterman, he sent himself thousands of blocks in the air, but he did it in creative. So he said, good luck doing this in survival. And I'm like, okay, challenge accepted.
If there's one thing I know about you, one of two things. If it involves explosions and or throwing yourself in the air, you're up for the challenge. Yeah.
Oh, you can't. Oh, another thing is you cannot ride a pig, and moms do not survive the wind charge.
Trust you to be figuring that one out as well. And I've got to admit that was a question I had as well, because I remember earlier in the current World 3, riding pigs as they were thrown in the air by TNT. Yes.
Yes, pigs can fly. Well, we've had a really good discussion about this vault trial chambers, the breeze drop. I still got to ask myself, and maybe you're asking yourself, is this it? Is the trial chamber the bulk of the 1.21 update, or is there still more out there? Well, wood. We need wood. I know we say this a lot, but we're still lacking wood. So, what do you guys think? What do you think about these vaults? What do you think about the breeze and its drop? We'd like to know. We'd like to know your thoughts down in the YouTube comment section, through our email, minecraftlabpodcast@gmail.com, or on X, give us a ring there, or on the website, interrealmssmp.com. Get in touch with us. Let us know your thoughts and how you feel about these things. And while you're at it, if you're listening to this through a podcast platform such as Spotify, Apple, iTunes, what have you, give us a rating. We haven't asked that before, and we do really appreciate it if you give us a rating. 5 stars is preferred. So if you enjoy this podcast, show us. Let us know.
And speaking of wood, we got a recent comment here from Jurassic's, and I think it's really apt. Seeing as Miner keeps saying spicy, and we already know about Troja's wood, maybe this is a sign that there will actually be spice wood. Are we being that cryptic? Are we that in the know?
No, maybe we know something. Well, folks, thank you again for joining us here at the lab. We'll see you in the next one.
Catch you in the next one, folks.
I mean, I was going to do like the actors thing, like where they do the voice exercises. Wood, 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 wood.
What would wood do? You got wood on the brain, sir.